Who's the most dangerous artist to listen to while you're driving?
Megan Thee Stallion.
Frosty.
Nickelback.
What is happening?
Man, I was very excited to do this podcast. That answer just went so many different directions. No, see, not get into that. Well, let's get into it.
Okay, my sister is here on the podcast, sounding like the freaking you know the TikTok kid that goes, what is it? The number one Fortnite. We about to get down.
Get down.
Yeah, you know that one. Just wiped out Tomato Town. You sounded like that when you said Frosty.
Frosty.
Why am I the most dangerous thing to listen to? Was that a diss or was that a compliment?
I mean, if I'm listening to Strange Flavors, I have no idea where you're going. I could be zoning out and just end up in a ditch.
She said what she said.
So that's like a backhanded compliment. It's like, oh, it's dangerous to listen to you, but it's awesome to listen to you.
I just don't know where his thoughts are going to go. They're going to be either so woke or so dumb. I just don't know. I just go with the flow.
The important thing is she called me dangerous. And one of my idols once said...
You would only do that. Like,
Move on. Why did I say that? Continue.
The greatest entertainer on earth once said, because I'm bad.
I thought she was going to say, like, your songs... Like one of your songs, and I was I was like, that's a vibe. Like I can get with that.
No.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Honestly, you guys, there was nothing else I could think of, and he was sitting next to me.
Okay, Shamir, you said Metallica.
Yeah.
Do you actually listen to Metallica in the car? Well, you don't because then you'd crash.
Yeah, but no, I do. And
that's the time you ended up on the other side of the road.
Yeah, that's the time. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't end up.
PTSD. Sorry.
Sometimes you get it in the zone. Like it's a very aggressive sometimes. And you can go out of control. And if you encounter road rage, worst, because then you'll be yelling out there, and it's pretty bad. It heightens your road rage.
Mm-hmm. I feel that.
Amber, what was yours?
Megan Thee Stallion.
She's like twerking.
Are you trying to twerk while driving?
No, the energy. Listen, like, do you remember that energy that Bodak? I'm over here about to say our song. Bodak, Yellow. Do you remember the energy that song gave? Like, you just wanted to go up to everybody in the face.
Because I remember Bodak Brown.
I also remember Bodak Brown, and I completely forgot the Bodak Yellow lyrics because of it. But do you remember how, like, you wanted to go up to somebody in the face and just be like... Listen,
yeah, I watched people like you in my rear view.
If you wanted to, And so that... then translate, and then also like sometimes it's a Beyonce energy too, right? You're like, wake up flawless, and then it goes to Megan. She's like owning that field right now of like just making you feel like the baddest bitch on the road. I said what I said.
Yeah, it's I will say it's fun watching those people when someone's having a good time doing their thing. I just kind of look at them and smile. I'm like, go you.
That's my favorite moment.
You're really enjoying yourself.
Yeah.
I've learned recently that I've learned to control myself when I'm listening to DMX. That used to be a problem for me. When I'm hearing like dun dun and then X gonna give it to you. I was like, oh my god. But now I've learned to kind of control that. Right now, Nickelback. I put on Nickelback the other day. My brother and I were coming back from Virginia. Oh my god. I put that thing on and I was out of control. Shamir is upset because he doesn't understand the goatness of Nickelback. But once their songs come on...
You chose Nickelback, fam, for Dangerous Song on the Road. What type of, like, reaction are you expecting?
So dangerous.
Nickelback,
I can play you...
Is it because of the nostalgia of things? Like, when we were going to Ohio Pile and we threw on that 90s, early 2000s playlist and we were going crazy.
That was crazy.
Like Akon, Rihanna, Disturbed,
Zero
like
Nickelback.
all of that.
Nickelback.
It was a song that I haven't even heard by them. And once, I promise you, this is a guarantee. Once I play that song, it's called Animals. Don't listen to it without me, okay? But I'm telling the audience, put that song on in your car on full blast. You are going to lose it. Nickelback, goated.
Okay, well...
I get them and the Foo Fighters mixed up. The best!
Save yourself. You're about to like ruin your whole reputation from people.
Oh my gosh.
No. This man also listened to R. Kelly right after and jammed to that, so...
Ooh, she said that.
His music is good. I listen to it too.
And
really
anyways,
controversial.
You're gonna get yourself canceled.
I'm
Let him
very
do the intro.
yeah, let me do the intro.
Very controversial. Coming
Very
in hot.
controversial, but thank you guys for tuning into an episode of Strange Flavors. My name is Shimmer,
I'm Faraz.
My name is Amber.
and this is the strangest and greatest podcast in the game. It's brought to you by Alif Theory. You can email us or send us your music at strangeflavorspodcast@gmail.com. If you enjoy this podcast and want to share with all your friends, you can share on all social media. You can also see our beautiful faces here on YouTube. Be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, if you want to support this podcast, like all our wonderful donors, such as Bobber's Bagels, Cassie's Cupcakes, Erha's Ices, Fariha's Falafels, and Aslam's Apples, there's a link down below.
Ooh.
And we also have an awesome YouTube channel that goes by the name of Rono Pono. We have a Patreon with exclusive content. We have a great community on Discord. And we also have amazing merch on ronopono.com. But also, we have another announcement that Frosty will take.
Thank you
Care.
for that amazing transition, Shimmer. And I love that your voice got lower right at the end there. Makes it much more important. The anticipation. We are now taking sponsors for the podcast. If you want your business to be promoted on the strangest and the greatest podcast in the game, reach out. Tell your uncle who owns the pawn shop down the store that if he needs more customers at the pawn shop, that Strange Flavors is taking promotions. Okay?
Or if they want
we
to
forgot
promote their
mention-
online bond business, let us know.
Yeah.
We can help that.
We have some of the greatest supporters in the game that allow us to continue doing what we do. And we got a big Baba in the building right now.
Let's
Thank
go.
you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Big
We
Baba
do have a
Neha.
big Baba in the building.
Winning.
If she had a Strange Flavors town, what would it be?
Nehari.
I don't know why I said
Do you want
Neha's
Nehari?
nukes.
He has what?
Nukes.
Nukes?
Because it's, what?
I play too much Call of Duty.
Nehari, get
I
it?
need to stop.
Nehari, it's in the name.
Neha's
Is there
Nehari.
any American and
Neha's noodles.
foods?
Neha's noodles.
Neha's noodles. I like
And
that.
Amber
Nunu's
calls
noodles.
me Nunu.
Nunu's noodles. I like that. I like that one.
Okay,
Yeah, so-
sold.
So come on down. We have a great town. We have awesome supporters.
Great
that we love.
ramen.
And yeah, that too.
And great ramen.
But come support us. Okay, another big announcement. Shamir, you didn't amp it up to be 2 announcements, but listen.
That was the
We're not
announcement I was talking about. But
Oh.
yeah.
No, but that was an important announcement too.
Yeah, it was.
But this is an even more important. No, this is an equally important announcement. Both of them get us money. That's the
Yeah.
main thing. We are launching the first ever official
Ooh.
Strange Flavors merch.
Whoa.
Wow.
What?
Where do I buy
That's
it?
insane.
What the heck?
No way.
Dude.
Listen to me. The drippage on this, very literally, is real. It's
I
You're
know I'm
lying.
acting surprised, but I've seen it and it is fire.
I have zero
Big
drip.
Baba approved.
I have zero drip. I need this.
You need this. And trust me, if you believe in our mission here of connecting with strangers all over, of believing in everybody's unique flavors, you want this merch, you got to show it off, go rep it. Strangeflavors.store. Listen
And
to
it
me.
looks good. It looks good.
And where can they buy it?
Strangeflavors.store.
Store. Well, you guys need to come up with a jingle for that too. Strangeflavors.store.
That's it right there.
That's
We'll just
it.
use that. We'll sample that. Yeah, so go buy the merch. We made it specially for you, and it's gonna be awesome once we all get it rocking. And you'll probably see us with it on as soon as ours come in. Okay, so I saw this story on Now This, and it was very relevant for the times we live in right now, and it was worth discussing. Everybody's on Zoom nowadays for work, right? There was an entire
And
school
school.
board, huh?
For work
And
and school.
For work, school, for everything. We're on it for this podcast. Oh my God. An entire school board resigned after being caught ridiculing parents during a virtual meeting. This was supposed to be amongst themselves. They were venting basically about, some of the parents and, the things that they say. But it was streaming publicly. Someone decided to record it and publish on YouTube and let the world see, you know, this is what's going on at the school. They were concerned. They decided to remain anonymous. But basically, yeah, everybody ended up resigning after it came out because the parents were upset. As we know, growing up, there's always those parents that are upset anyways. But now you have the real conversations, a real recording. Basically, I want to talk about this. Like, you know, we're dealing with ethics here, but this is a difficult time for everybody during this whole pandemic. We've never experienced anything like this in our lives, right? This was supposed to be something where people are venting privately, yeah? To a degree, we all kind of do this, you know, about our work. I guess we're not supposed to or whatever, but we talk to our friends, our family, and say, you know, today was a tough day, whatever, but this was put on publicly. Does that make it okay? Do you feel, you know, sorry for any of the teachers, or is this well-deserved? What are your guys' thoughts?
I'm right in the middle because I feel for them for venting, because everybody has to vent about their job sometime. You have to blow off some steam, and I'm sure that maybe they didn't have an opportunity or in a recent time where they felt like they could do that. On the other hand, I have mentioned on this podcast a few episodes ago how much I am feeling for the mothers and the parents that are inside the houses right now, because I truly see it. I work with 3 different families with kids, and I see the moms quite literally on their Zoom meetings with their kids running around, trying to get them sit up on their Zoom classes, finishing their work early enough to sit back with their kids on the Zoom. And not even on Zoom, they have homework and assignments that run a mile long, have to log 90 to 120 minutes per week. And that's not on top of that, it's not like the parents getting paid for it. Obviously, it's their kid. They want the best for them. But this is a whole second job that these parents are enduring. So while I feel for the teachers, these parents are really going through it. So if they need to vent and say these schools need to open up and they have their own opinions about it, I don't think that they should belittle the parents by saying that they just want them to have another babysitter for their kids again, when the reality is that the school system is set up there for a reason, and that's all that they want from it.
Yeah. Appa, you're a child rehabilitation therapist currently, right? Mm-hmm. You've had to make that shift with doing things virtually. Mm-hmm. You're kind of in that similar situation, where you're having to deal with these people through Zoom. Yeah. So it's already a tough enough environment. But what do you see, you know, through your experiences after watching a video like what now this posted? Do you feel for either side?
Similar to Amber, I guess being in the field myself, I do see both sides of it. It's a very tense environment right now. Everyone wants an answer. It's very difficult. I think the kids out of everyone is like for them, it's like the hardest transition, right? You're taking away a whole school year, if not more. It's just confusing times. I looked at myself as I was watching this, because with my own coworkers, like after we meet with certain patients, clients, schools, like we vent, and that's happens pretty normally. I guess it's like a very big teaching moment to understand that there are real consequences to these things. And if your words were, you know, public like that, what could be the repercussions of that? And to me, like a good teacher, a good therapist, whatever it is someone who talks good about their students, clients, patients in their absence, and doesn't hold these things to true. I think to some degree, like obviously this is work culture, like it's not as serious. They might have just been saying certain things. So yeah, kind of some slack with that. But as far as like removing school boards and things like that, yeah, I guess if this is how everyone is feeling, then put people in there who truly, truly care about what's going on and what their opinions are. But it's a hard one, because I think a lot of these people, of course, they resign because when they say something like that, they understand, like, damn, like, this is a lot for me to handle, and I have to step down because I can't say anything besides I'm sorry. And that's a really awkward position to be in. And maybe they were peer pressured into saying a lot of these things, too, because it's work culture.
After, like, resigning, like, what are they going to do? Are they going to become teachers again, or, like, what? Because that's what I'm confused about. It's like, if you resign, then you better not be a teacher if, like, that's why you're resigning.
Well, Shamir, let me ask you something. Like, when it comes to what people do behind the scenes whether it's recorded or not. We've seen what has happened when police brutality has been presented to us as it happens because of cameras on phones. And people were saying that, you know, this always existed. So now it's really revealing what was really going on. Therefore, having all of these protests and you know, getting people to really ask for some real change going on. So if this were to happen and the way that it did, is it ultimately a good thing for fixing the systems and having people, you know, watch themselves?
Yeah, that's why I think it's such a
agree
big
with you.
learning lesson.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if they resign, they better not be teachers anymore. Like, if that's their purpose is to, like, you know, clean the school board, you better not be a teacher ever again.
Do you see this as like an honest mistake though? As like a venting
Well, one of the
opportunity?
teachers even related. She said, I have my own kids, and, you know, that there's this difficult thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Like,
And some of the things we're saying, like, don't generalize, but there's truth to some of these jokes too. Like,
And the thing is, like, also, they're real people who are also going through this pandemic, not justifying what went on, but I'm just wondering, does firing them during these difficult times make for a productive situation?
I think
don't
the hard consequence that the parents, or the hard decisions that the parents are facing, is the fact that these are the same people who are in charge of opening the schools back up and are the same people who are making the decisions for what goes on in those schools. And if they have such a nonchalant, selfish attitude in their language in that way, how far does that go beyond just this call? And I think that might be translating a lot to the parents. But at the same time, generally, as person to person, I feel empathy for them. From a parent's perspective, I understand that as well.
yeah. Also, from like a student looking at teacher's perspective, I had so many shitty teachers. I'm sure they've said worse about us and our parents.
For sure.
So I'm like, I don't know. I'm not like
also
surprised.
just so much desensitization of things like this in medical fields and schools, that like some of the things that might sound really intense to the average listener is like just every day for someone else. So it's just the intensity of it, and people in those positions like do have a higher responsibility. So fight education with education, like, yes, reprimand them, like, but have them really like go through something to open their eyes to like what they said, for sure.
Yeah, let us know what you think of the situation. Let us know if this has ever been you in their shoes. Have you ever said something that you, or heard somebody say something in your workplace that you were like, I don't know if, you know, that should be said? And have you spoken up in that situation or remained quiet depending on the circumstances? Regardless, there were consequences that had to be paid. This is what happened. We want to hear from you, what you guys think.
Yeah. So, guys...
Oh my God.
Listen very carefully, okay? And Frost, like, just soak up this moment, because you're never going to hear it from me again. But in
Why
the
me?
last podcast, you were right, okay? You said...
Okay, wait. Before you go any further.
You got his attention.
Before you go any further, we've done 140 episodes.
Till
I'm
this
always
moment... Nope. That's why I said, listen to me carefully, because you're not going to hear it again. In the last episode, you brought up, you were like, you know, are you sure you want to say this? Like, come on, no. And I've been getting really open on the podcast, and I've just been putting all my business out there. And I'm going to say, it bit back already once before, and I mentioned it. But this time, guys, it just made me feel like trash, like a trash human being, okay? And this
Yes, our first ever apology.
Listen, and this is, and I'm being so genuine when I say this, like, I took it too far. I took it too far on the last podcast because I was speaking about another person. That person's emotions were involved, and that person heard them, and they were hurt. And like that's the reality of it. It's like I had to deal with the consequences of knowing that person listened to it, and now I feel like a terrible person, and like that doesn't even matter. Like, that person's feelings were hurt. Here's what happened.
So should you be fired off the pod?
No, because listen, sis, don't come in here all fiery like that.
It was a great segue. Same situation. Okay.
I did end up breaking off the situation that we mentioned the last podcast, which was, you know, having my high school bully fall in love with me. And I proposed to the audience. I said, should I forgive him? And should I just keep moving and just, you know, be the bigger person? Or should I make him fall in love with me and break his heart? And I said that as a joke. And I even clarified that after the podcast. But I did say it as a joke. However, the person who was not meant to hear it heard that exact thing. Not only that, he went as far to like the Instagram post of the clip that was posted. So when I sent
Amber, you were excited. You were in a moment.
I was excited.
And you had instigating Shimmer over here. Going on.
What does he think about me? I was like, yo, go do it.
To be fair, I didn't do it with the malicious intent. I genuinely didn't see it going anywhere, and I ended up breaking it off. And I said
I'm an influencer. We're content creators.
No, I that came up later. I broke it off first, and I was like, hey, listen, I just don't have the time, energy, mental capacity for this. I'm sure there's somebody out there better for you. Like, wish you well. And
you should have just said link in bio.
Link in bio, straight up. Instead, I get a, personal message at the end of it. It said, saw the podcast topic about me too. I should have known. And that's when I was
it's funny because you didn't even share that one.
I purposely didn't share it, and I quite literally was like, okay, like, maybe I'll be safe, whatever. Me and Aniti, the intern, discussed, like, maybe even retitling it before it even went out. And I was like, whatever, guys, I don't care. Like, I don't care. Like, I put up I don't care. Like, what was I thinking?
Well, to be fair, for marketing purposes and for clickbait purposes, what was it? Like making my high school bully fall in love with me. That's what it said. Yeah. Imagine reading that. Yeah, like that's fire. And that's really what the story was.
Yeah.
I know. So I replied, I was like, the podcast was purely jokes. I literally said the same joke to you, which saved me because I did say that same joke to them. And I was like, but everything else between us is irrelevant to that, what I said on the podcast, right? Fast forward, and I was like, I'm sorry, and I hope you take care. Sorry was to, to not that related thing. And he said, you got your heartbreak, LOL.
Yo, full circle.
Can we get him on the podcast now?
Yeah.
She broke his heart. She broke the bully's heart.
So let's just say I want to come back. I want to come back around and say that even though I felt bad, I did what I said I was gonna do. No, I'm just kidding.
No, Amber, stop it. Let me save you right now.
Stop me right now.
This is gonna go on for the rest of we're gonna be 80 years old, and she's gonna be like, guys, so chain effect. It's still from the last episode that affected the last episode.
Yeah.
It's still going.
I'm still going to say my stuff. I'm just going to make sure I block them off the Strange Flavors account before I start talking to them. Just kidding.
Wow.
No,
the real lesson of today is your words have consequences. Mm-hmm. Even when you try not to share your podcast because it has a certain title on it, they will be found. This is public. The internet is undefeated.
I think the bigger lesson is that regardless of what I personally want to share and am excited to share for the sake of tea and for the sake of podcast and the interaction, the reality is there's another human on that side and another person felt something, and I feel bad for that. In the future, if I do go on, I want to make sure that I want to share stories, but I also don't want to hurt people at the same time, and I have to figure out personally how I'm going to do that.
Let's get a closing mental health remark on how Amber, let's just say all of us should deal with our personal lives on this podcast, and how people on the other side should expect to deal with it. What do you think?
Go through what you... No. As I said, grow through what you go through. Period.
Okay.
Grow through what you go through?
Yeah. So
share it? Keep sharing it?
Share the growth. Just keep going. I'm just kidding.
No,
learn
it's
as
just
you go.
Learning experiences.
Learn as you go.
Experiences. All of this is at the end of the day, it probably taught you something, teaches the other person something. Have those conversations.
But this is your second time.
Huh?
But this is your second
Yeah,
time.
this is the second time.
Yo.
No, that's the first time was not as relevant. That was me. That was not a topic that was brought up by me. The first time was a conversation that was like, hey, like about friends wasting time, and I gave like a small smidge example of it, which was clipped, posted on Instagram, and thrown right back at me.
It's okay.
But
You guys are going through this like a first time experience. You know, you don't know how to deal with certain things. You don't know how it's figured out, but it's okay. Just grow
I do
through
wanna
what
say-
you go through.
I was embarrassed to go back and listen to it to see what I had said, but when I did go back and listen to it, I felt a lot better because I was like, yo, what are you even mad about? Like, it wasn't even that big a deal. But I get it. I'm sorry.
It was pretty bad though. It was pretty
sorry.
bad.
And when you apologize, don't justify it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I know. That's what I said. I was like, I'm sorry. I was like, I
feel
would
it, though.
hate to be on
I
the side of that.
I feel that Amber is genuine right now. I feel it.
I felt bad.
It's okay. It's okay. It's fine. You didn't mean
But
to.
if you want
have
me to
good
publicly
intentions.
talk about the next heartbreak, let me know in
See,
the comments
this
down
is
below.
the-
No, I'm just
this-
kidding.
Chalo ji. Satyanas kaam
I'm
kharab.
for it. I'm for it. You always got my support. Amber.
What did you just say?
Satyanas kaam kharab. Look it up after this.
Okay,
And then
well.
text me.
The key is grow through what you blow through. What is it? Go through what you grow through.
For Ross.
Glow through.
What you...
All right. Yo.
Blow
Everyone
through.
just say it at
Save
the
your
same
brother.
exact time.
Okay, ready?
Grow through what you go through.
What you go through.
Go through.
Perfect. Beautiful.
And on that note, we have somebody who is going to be sharing exactly what they went through to go through what they grow through.
Blow through.
All right, see, now she's doing. No, this is really exciting. Our stranger this week is a very talented young singer from Cali. She just released her first ever EP titled Mercy. So we talk about the themes in her music, from pressures of a fast-paced society, balancing her South Asian identity while trying to find herself, trying to live out a free and independent life, and a whole lot more. She's a lot of fun, she's really funny and really cool. So without further ado, please welcome our stranger, REHMA. REHMA, welcome, finally,
Sis, we gotta talk.
in the flesh.
We have
You-
so much to talk about.
You avoided us for it's been a year, right?
Wow.
Like, it's
You
literally
was started like that.
That's
Has
how
it
we're
been a year?
starting this, sis. What do you mean?
It's not been a year.
bro.
It's been like
Oh,
5,
almost.
6 months.
No, I think it's close. Maybe. Actually, yeah.
It might be close.
Wow. Okay.
We reached I think we were talking and we were supposed to do this podcast a long time ago, and things didn't work out. Some people forget which coast that other people are on. Sometimes you get busy with school.
Sometimes
But-
the world revolves around California.
But the real reason
so-
is because we're in the presence of a superstar right
Facts.
here.
Oh, shut the fuck
Facts.
up.
Are you
Am I
kidding
allowed to
me?
swear?
Yeah, you're
No,
fine.
that you can.
No. Podcast over.
All right, this is the end of it.
Yo, okay, before anybody thinks that I just want to say it's really confusing to check your email when it's like EST, PST all the time. Like,
REHMA,
that
listen,
shit's-
you're in this industry now, and only because you're actually really good, we need to let you know, like, you got to get it together.
Okay, I'll get it together.
She
You
needs an
gotta get it.
assistant. If anyone wants to
Like-
be an assistant, apply.
And by the
Apply
way,
to be her assistant. But don't email her, and please don't try to
Yeah.
set up a meeting on a different coast than her.
And you can't
No,
be. Yeah.
literally, just text me. Like, why do people want to email so bad all the time? Like, it's
Honestly, I feel
2021.
that. I
Let's
actually do
just
really-
I should have
text.
started with the text because you were really good on the text.
Right? Like,
How-
I'm like,
How old are you?
I'm 20. I'm about to turn 21.
Whoa,
Okay,
you're a
shit.
that
baby.
makes a little
Yeah.
bit of sense.
Wait, why?
Wait,
not
can
like
we just from the what's your sign from the jump?
Oh my god.
Wait, guess.
Oh,
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my god.
You're giving. She's
This is
giving me
hurting.
like Sag vibes.
Sag
oh my
vibes?
god, so Nikki! Wow,
She's a barb.
This is hurting me.
wow.
Can't handle
No,
this.
not a Sagittarius, but what kind of vibes are you? Ooh,
I got a big ass forehead. Like, that's a clue.
I want to say
that
my
really a clue?
sign, but I don't want to say my sign.
Aries.
Are you a Scorpio?
I'm an Aries.
Guys,
Let me know when
Aries?
you guys are done this, and then I'll come back to the podcast.
Yeah. Skip 2
Okay,
minutes.
Aries.
Hey, we're
Whoever's
about to
listening.
ask for your signs too. Okay, so just 1 second.
Okay, so she's an Aries. I gotta look that up because I like you so far.
Yeah, I'm an Aries and I'm a Leo rising and a Libra moon. Do you know
And
what
you
that
just
means?
pissed both of them off like really bad. Because they hate detailed moon sign
Why
talk.
are you guys so against it? It's just fucking zodiac.
Can you guess my sign though?
Are you a Scorpio?
No.
Okay, I thought because you said Scorpio earlier, are you my sign? Okay, but I'm seeing like maybe Taurus energy.
Okay, I'm okay with Taurus energy, but I'm not
Okay,
a Taurus.
you tell me. I don't want to.
I'm
do
a
this.
Libra.
Oh, beautiful! I love Libras.
Thank you.
Dude, we're sister signs. She's like
I feel
Libra.
that. Yeah. I love that for us.
Can we do the interview now?
I love having girls on this podcast.
Is it okay? Is it okay if we?
Do you want to be a co-host? Just come back every week.
I'll come back.
Thank you.
I'm sure I can do this
EST.
really good. EST, shut the fuck up, dude. Wait, what are your guys' signs? What's yours for us? What's yours? And then Shimmer, you
It's
got
okay. It's okay. It's
No,
not
just-
gonna matter.
just
It's not
say
gonna
it.
change
You're not
anything.
gonna die.
You're not gonna die.
I'm a Capricorn. Did you see that coming?
Yes.
See, this is exactly what I mean, people.
So he's
It doesn't
not a
matter.
Capricorn,
But-
but when
but
I
what did
tell
she
you
say?
the sign, you'll really understand.
No, she already said yes. Like she
No, it
thought
makes
that
sense.
that made sense.
But he's not a Capricorn.
But he's not a Capricorn.
It could make sense if you were one.
I know. Any of them could make sense if I said that I was that one.
Yeah, because maybe they're all elements of the universe, so it could be a universal thing, you know? Like, could apply to more than one thing, you know? 'Cause
Guys,
it's
just
like
tell
a
her
very-
your signs and keep it moving.
Yeah, just tell me your signs. Yeah, well, it's important for me.
I already told you mine. All right, let's do the interview now. So
He's
that
a Leo, and Shamir is a...
What am I?
I don't know, because like...
Dang.
No,
I'm
no,
the
no, I
snail
know.
sign.
Virgo.
snail sign.
Yeah, snail sign.
Virgo. Okay, I see that.
No, he's not a Virgo.
Bruh.
I'm a snail sign.
Okay, this is disappointing.
Okay, Rehma, you have
okay, it's okay,
incredible,
whatever.
enthusiastic energy, and we love it. And it might be because it's earlier in the day for you, or it might be because this is how you are. But I didn't expect this based off of the music.
What'd you expect?
I mean,
Really?
you're not a Leo, are you?
Amber.
What the heck? We're on the interview.
I'm so sorry, but I'm trying to... Okay, I'm so sorry. Go ahead. I'm just...
She's like doing her own thing of it. Like she's gonna be FaceTiming him in a
Because
minute.
I'm upset. I'm trying to figure it out.
Amber, you can try to be friends with her afterwards.
We're
This is
making
her.
conversation. Go ahead
This-
and instead of
this is
talking
for-
about it, why don't you ask her your next
This is
question?
PR for her, so this will be good.
Oh my
ahead.
god.
Yeah, so I mean, when I heard your music, right, it was like, well, first of all, you're incredibly talented.
Fire.
Thank you guys.
I
Thank you for
like I
listening.
wouldn't just say that, and we don't like there are artists that reach out and they're like, oh, like play my music or like have me on the show, but it's just one of those things where you want to promote. Like I was telling you with the Instagram follow for follow thing, you wanna go towards quality, and you have quality for real. So it was really nice hearing that. But yeah, you're when it comes, we'll get into the album, but like your I guess your themes are very personal and very insightful of things that you're going through and dealing with. So maybe I expected like you to be more mellow or whatever, but is it very different than your art, like your personality?
I think so. Yeah, I think I'm a lot like more energetic and enthusiastic than people always would assume. I don't know. I feel like in my music I'm really outspoken, so I thought that would translate like, like in my character, like people would assume I'm very like outspoken and loud. But I definitely am a little bit I express the darker parts of myself in my music, which is weird, but it's cool. It's like y'all get to see two sides of me, I guess.
do your friends and your family or like anybody who like knows you get surprised by the content of your music, or do they basically know?
My parents.
In a bad way or a good way?
They're like, you talking about that? And I'm like, yes.
But are they supportive?
Yes, always. They're very supportive. And it's like rare to find, South Asian immigrants be supportive, but like, I think they knew that I wasn't going to stop making music anytime soon. They were like, okay, this bitch ain't gonna stop. So at this rate.
Did you start early?
I've been singing since I was literally 2 years old. So like,
Oh.
this is something that I like really love doing. So if they were to stop me, they knew that they would just be stopping me as like a person, you know? So it's like, let this girl do her thing. Like,
Yeah. What is your your story, your family's story when it comes to this, brown girl who's grown up in the West Coast? What was your upbringing like, and trying to find yourself along the way?
okay, so I actually wasn't even raised in the West Coast. My parents immigrated to America in like the 90s, I believe. And
From?
my parents, they're straight out of Karachi.
Okay.
Yeah, they're very much from Karachi.
Look at that smile and shimmer. Karachi boy
Karachi
over
gang,
there.
let's go.
Hey. No, but like they're straight out of Karachi. Very much, like that hard mentality. Like y'all need to do good in life and be successful in whatever you do. But when they came, they really built everything from ground up. Like that immigrant story. Like I came with $2 or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
And then I'm sorry, I stole that joke from Hassan Minhaj. I just gotta say, I'm not a stealer.
Hassan Minhaj stole that joke from his parents
me.
and all of our parents, so it's okay. They all have.
true.
I think all of our parents said something along the lines of that, so it's okay.
That's true. Okay, well, yeah, so they came through here and I was born in Houston, H-Town, where Meg and Beyonce were born.
There we go. I was gonna say it, but I tried to stay
Look
quiet.
at the lip bite. The lip bite was serious.
This is like the trend everyone's doing, like, to
Yeah, I
be,
know.
funny.
Like Niyati and Hadia, they always do this thing.
Yeah, it's the
it's a-
finger. I'm sorry, I'm one
a
of
young
those
people thing.
but I got
I'm so glad when you mentioned H-Town that the first thing you said was Megan and Beyonce, because that's mandatory.
Because H-Town hotties, like, why would I
Yes.
not?
Travis
Yeah.
Scott.
Are you a hot girl?
Let's go.
I'm a hot girl. I go to school and do music. I am a born hot girl. Like, you know how it is.
Love it.
Yeah. So then after Houston, I moved to Chicago. I was raised for most of my life, like, around the suburbs of Chicago. So
You went to the best places.
Wow.
I know, right?
Especially as an artist, those are
Yeah.
the places you want to be in. Like, yo, Chi-Town, H-Town.
Right?
Like, you're that. You covered all the marks.
I
Yeah.
really did. Yeah, I did. Honestly, I feel like it was all like kind of like destiny. Like I was supposed to be in all these places and experience all the people.
Like,
and,
it makes you cool, you know?
it does. It kind of does. Huh?
I can't be like, yo, Bel Air, Maryland. What's up?
That sounds pretty cool to me.
We say-
Bel Air.
We
That
just go
sounds
with
like-
Baltimore because it's like,
Yeah.
that's the major
For
city.
sure.
But
I feel like Bel Air sounds like something you'd rep more.
come
It's
to
not the
Bel Air.
Fresh Prince.
Come to
Yeah,
Bel Air
yeah,
and
it's
then,
not
and
the
then
Fresh
see what happens.
Okay. I guess Bel Air is different in Los Angeles. You know.
Yeah.
You've
very
never
different.
seen so many MAGA hats in your life. Trust me. Look at her face.
face
She's
changed
like,
so quick.
she's like, oh, I thought it was
Switch.
Fresh Prince stuff.
Yeah.
No, that's not how it works here.
Okay, so you went Houston to Chi-Town, and then what
California.
happened?
And then
California.
I moved to California when I was 15. I went to high
Jeez.
school here, like 3 years of high school in a suburb of Orange County. Have you heard of Tustin?
No, we've been to OC, but I don't
Yeah,
know.
so it's Orange County area. It's near Santa Ana, near Irvine. And then I never moved to LA, but both my sisters moved to LA, so I live with them whenever I need to go for like music or whatever.
You're
So
the
I just-
youngest.
Yeah, I'm the youngest sister, but I got a little bro. He's 17. He's a cutie. He's cute.
Nice. So along the way, you're growing up, you're moving all this time. How was it like coming to terms with your identity, or are you still kind of figuring that out when it comes to like, you said earlier you want to try to connect with more South Asian people and all that. Like, was it always this way, or were you balancing different things?
Honestly, from the jump, like when I was in Chicago, like when you're around the suburbs of Chicago, there's a bit of a dichotomy, honestly. It's like white people and then the people of color, like, and it's either you try to fit in with the white people or you are a loser. So, I mean, not necessarily a loser, but that's how they kind of treat like people of color, like as if they don't deserve to be at the same status as white people, especially back then, like growing up. When you're like younger, you don't see all the backhanded shit that was happening and all the like covered racism that kind of happened in schools and shit. I mean, I can like think of tons of things that like happened to me as a little girl that made me really afraid of like embracing my own skin, my food, like my culture. And I know that's like a similar story between like a lot of women who grow up in America being like a child of immigrants, especially first daughters. Like, it's like really hard to like love yourself for some fucking reason because they want to make it so difficult. But
Were they like, go on Devon Street, go live over there?
no, it was more like, I'm telling you, it's like more of like the backhanded shit. It's like you wear henna on your hands to school after Eid and they're like, why does that look like poop?
Why is it dirt?
Yeah,
Why
like,
Or what I used to ask, why does it smell like poop? These are real questions that people are asking.
Henna doesn't smell like
It
poop.
literally smells like plants.
It smells like a herb. Yeah, what the fuck is wrong with you? Don't ever
Facts.
say that again.
Thank you.
Maybe I was in Chi-Town.
Maybe you were smelling poop. Who knows?
Right.
Yeah, whatever I was
Maybe
using
you're-
wasn't henna. It
Don't
wasn't
forget
henna.
to wipe, okay?
That's always been a weird one though. I've heard that from a lot of brown girls where they get made fun of something like that. And I remember being in Ocean City, which is, you know, a beach that's close to us, and they would literally have like henna stations. You guys remember that?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Word, yeah.
It was
And-
like a gentrified version of a henna tat.
yeah, and it was
Yeah.
like since middle school, the girls would like white girls would be going there and getting henna, but then yeah, I
But
would
it would be
hear
like a
comments like
heart
this.
with a stencil. It'd be like,
Right.
you know, a dragon. But like we have like the Paisleys and they're like, what's that? I remember my second grade teacher literally was like, go wash your hands. And I was like, why?
Same.
And she's like, why did you draw all over yourself? I was like, this isn't dirt. Because somebody had just mentioned that. And she was like, I didn't say it was dirt. Why are you drawing on yourself? Go wash your hands.
Ember, who did the henna?
I mean, I had like an artist, a henna artist did it.
So it was
bad.
it was decently done.
It was nicely done. It
Okay,
was beautiful. I got it done at a wedding.
I'm just trying to look out for the teacher for a second and be like, maybe, you know,
She wasn't
Henna art
ill
look like-
intentioned, but obviously she did lack like a level of like outside cultural awareness.
Why are you out here defending the teacher?
I
I'm
just
sure
gotta-
Henna
You
was
know,
I just
she
got-
was
I just
nice
gotta-
to me or whatever, but she just wasn't aware. You know.
yeah. So it's her fault. It's fine. Okay, so people are telling you that you got poop on your hands, you're not liking it, and what
I
else
mean,
are you?
it wasn't even just that. Like, that's like one thing. Like, you know, it's like, it's just the quiet. Like, you'll never be as
Us.
good. Yeah, you'll never be us. Like, you'll never
Did you-
touch.
Did you think that too? Did you feel that like, oh, I won't be as good or something, or like I want to be white?
No, I never felt like I wanted to be white, but I definitely internalized like all the things they felt about me. I internalized it and felt it about myself. Like, I was like, okay, I'm not as beautiful. I'm not as talented. I'll never do as well. But at a certain age, like, I like just spent a lot of time by myself, and it was
Was
like
there-
one summer specifically I can remember. What's up?
Oh, nothing. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, I would just remember like one summer specifically, I was like at home binge watching Korean dramas that entire summer. And I was just spending a lot of time with myself. And I just like woke up one day and I was like, I don't give a shit. Like, this is cool as fuck. Like, I'm brown and I'm proud of it. I'm gonna walk into freshman year in Chicago acting like that bitch. So I basically did that. I literally just, I don't know if it's the Leo rising in me. You guys are gonna hate me.
No, it's clearly the Korean dramas. We just heard you tell the story. The Korean dramas inspired you
I think
to
it was
embrace
the
your own
Leo
identity.
rising.
Yeah, it definitely was like a sense of like seeing other people embrace their culture so proudly. I was like, you know what? I need to do that too. Like, I need to stop giving a shit about like what these white people think, and I need to do what I need to do. So
Oh,
I
for
woke
sure.
up and I was like, I'm gonna do this. And I made all my brown friends like freshman year, like still
Of high
friends with
school or
them
college?
of high school.
Oh wait, so you kind of got to identify yourself a little bit early on.
She was-
I would
yeah,
say,
she's
for
a- she's
brown
a-
girl.
Early for that.
Yeah.
Like, that
Yeah.
wasn't even.
I feel like
most
that
people.
happened for a lot of the people that I was around kind of our senior year, freshman year in college when we all started really connecting. But I also think it has to do with the time, because around the time that you were starting your freshman year was the era that I was, you know,
Right.
time that I was starting college. That's interesting.
You know what's a really important thing that you point out is when you saw other people, like the Korean drama thing, you know, when you saw people of other cultures embracing themselves, I think for a lot of South Asians, that for us was African Americans.
Black culture. Exactly.
Black culture,
That's
where you saw
100%.
how proud they were of who they are, and you got a chance to see them create their own culture unapologetically. And we were embarrassed, a lot of us growing up, especially, I guess our generation, maybe a few years older than that, all the kids that, had to live through 9/11, because it sucks when you're put into a group that's just like tied with really sort of embarrassing things that you don't even understand yet as a kid. But yeah, like that, seeing even later on in life when we saw like Crazy Rich Asians and the impact of Black Panther, these sort of moments become important for us, especially when we're seeing, there's really like brown people that exist now and that are here to stay. And we're not the ones that can really just go back to our
and
countries
are
like
worthy
our
of
parents.
occupying the space.
Yeah.
Exactly. I think like also in our culture, there's such a like, what are people gonna say all the time? And there's like such a I'm not trying to like, create any divide within our own community, but within our own community, there's also a lot of pressure and judgment. And that also stops people from wanting to fully embrace themselves in whatever form they are. I think the most beautiful thing you could learn from Black liberation across the world is the fact that they don't care what size, where you come from, who you are, like what your religious beliefs are. Like if you're Black, you're proud. And that's how it should be when you're brown too. Like it does not matter what your ideals and religious background is or whatever cultural value you grew up with. You should be respecting every single person with like the same value, because it's like, I think it's with the older generations a little bit more that's like harder for them to, assimilate in a country that's so like liberated already. But I think I was just reading about this. Sorry, I'm about to go on a tangent. But like, I was just reading about this thing about cultural dissonance. It's like when our parents leave from their country, they come to America, they're still stuck in a little bit of that mentality that was like, culturally traditional when they moved. And then they come here, they grow up with us as well, and they forget to kind of liberate themselves. And then you go back to the country that they're from and you're like, why are y'all like more free than me? Like what's going on, And I was just like, that is a very valid.
And they hold on to that era of when they left, even if it's evolved since then, because that's their root of their feeling like connected to where they came from.
Well, we've had this conversation recently with Leah that, it's important to point out that they have their own struggles. And if it's our parents, then it's our jobs also to, help them, cross that bridge or whatever, or at least be understanding along the way, but never to discredit or point and laugh and do the same thing that, basically we've gone through in our own ways to them, make fun of them in any way or hate on them or anything like that.
You mentioned that when you entered freshman year, that's kind of when you walked in and you were like, I am brown and proud. In what ways do you think that you kind of represented that? Even if it was internal, like what was the difference?
Literally everything, yo. Like the people I started being friends with were brown. Like,
and sounds like they're Indian too.
Yeah, no, like literally, I remember like them being like super cool.
Shout out to them.
Yeah, shout out to them. I'll shout them out. Like they're so cute. Like they were.
I
great
pointed
people.
that out, by the way, because sometimes as Pakistanis or as Indians, they won't like traditionally cross, and you didn't care about that immediately.
No, bruh, I'm not going to put pressure on lines that white people drew on us. That's stupid.
Snap.
Yeah,
that's amazing that you were able to do all that. Where did you start taking singing seriously along your journey and want to do it like on a real professional level?
I was like 14 and I was in Chicago still, and I remember my uncle, he needed like a little jingle for like this platform he was making. I still remember what it was called. It was a horrible song in my opinion. I think I did horrible on it. But, you know, that's what happens when you make music when you're 14. So, I mean, I sounded good. Like, I was a good vocalist, but it was just, like, a bad song for me. It was called Plug and Play. And that just sounds weird. Like, just...
Sounds like a commercial.
It was a commercial. It was, like, a jingle that I was making. And so
right. So that's fine.
So are you about to perform it? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I'm about to go in. No, I'm just kidding. But, I remember, like, I was in the studio for the first time in my life. Like, I was already professionally recording by 14 years old.
Was your uncle, like, paying you for that? Like, putting you in there?
He was paying for that one session. Like, that one session he took me to. And he was just like, sing. And I was like,
oh, that's awesome.
Okay. He's from Toronto. So, like, he literally was just, like, there for visiting and was like, do you want to try it? And I was like, yes. So, I recorded something and I was like, whoa, like... I sound great. I could actually do this. I could record my own music. I could start writing songs like professionally. Like it doesn't feel impossible anymore. You know, like it did feel a little bit out of reach when I was younger. I wanted to be a lawyer for some reason. So I like really switched my mentality and I was like, no, I can do this. Like 14, I think was a very pivotal age for me.
But
Chicago.
even then you didn't think like, oh, this is like expensive to get in here, or like that didn't cross your mind? Were you like, oh, I could do this in my bedroom, or?
It wasn't expensive. It was a really cheap studio.
Oh, okay.
No, it wasn't like $1,000. Like I was professionally recording, but it wasn't like a top notch. Like if you're a talented engineer and you can like do your job, like it'll make it sound high quality, you know, like. So he was just like, I think that guy specifically, he was very patient with me. Like I was only 14 and he was just like, yeah, like you're killer, like you're killing this. And he was like, just really motivating me. Yeah, he was a cool guy. I don't remember his name, unfortunately, but
and before that, you were like singing just in your life, or like how'd your uncle even know that you were about it? Like, did you used to sing at parties or something?
Oh my god, yes, that's a good memory to think about. But I was literally that kid that all the family parties, like they threw me up and they're like, sing for us, and I'm like,
was it scary or?
Yes, I have such bad anxiety when I was a kid. Like, I did not know how to sing live. Like, I was, like, always nervous, like, that I was not going to be good enough. That I was, like, putting the pressure on myself as a kid to sound like Whitney Houston, like, at 14 years old. Like girl, you're not going to sound like Whitney. You're 14.
And
that's a good goal, though. Like, set the bar high.
Yeah, without vocal lessons. I went to one vocal lesson, and I hated it. Because I was, like, in choir my whole life. And then, like, she was, like, talking to me, and she's like, do you want to sing country music? And I was like, bitch, I want to sing Aretha. Like, what are you saying? Like, don't ever say that again.
I see on your YouTube, like, you've got some videos from 5 years ago. And then, you know, you got these covers and all of that. I believe I saw in somewhere that you were doing, you had a Desi cover at some point, didn't you?
I did. It should be up there. It's the Can't Help Falling in Love and Therein, like, mashup.
Oh, okay. You mashed that up. Yeah. So that's cool. Oh, yeah, bilingual cover over here.
Yeah, it was cool as fuck to do that.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, like, is that something that you would be interested in doing again? Like,
I definitely think so. Yeah, I mean, I just don't think my Urdu is the strongest, but, like, I would love to keep... I mean, I've said this before, but... I can't wait to like work with more South Asian artists and, you know, include them in my process with making music one day. And I really hope to work with people who are actually from Pakistan and India. And I already have, like, the first 2 songs I put out on Spotify were a feature of Talal Qureshi, who is literally a Pakistani EDM producer. And he's like the coolest guy ever. And he like helped me form a sound before like anybody else. Like, he, like, really was like, you know, you need to stick with, like, this jazzy thing you're doing. Like, you have such cool lyrics. Like, you need to do all of that. And so he was, like, super, super cool to work with. And I remember really cool. He took me to this. Yeah, it is super cool. He was, like, at a studio with me with Seagal Mixmaster, who used to work with, like, Snoop Dogg and, like, all these people. And, like, he's super cool and, like, has such cool stories. Dope people.
Yeah, I say that because, you know, there's people that get really excited when they hear... even just a hint of, you know, something that they can relate to in their own thing. Like when I think Zayn Malik's whole thing is that, you know, he has, the 1D fans, but then he has, you know, entire like subcontinent behind him just because like the smallest little references or says something in Urdu, like in a song or something, and people are like, "Oh my God, he acknowledged us." So maybe like that's. I think
like,
sometimes we take that for granted, like how far people from our own culture sometimes might just like support us and give us that kick we need to make it, global or whatever, and never forget them.
Definitely. Like, I really think that the biggest thing for me was making sure if I do put something out in Urdu, or if I make it so it touches a certain audience, I want it to be done in like the most best like professional way. Like that cover I did, I think that was like after multiple tries of like trying to make a mashup of a song that really felt like authentic and unique to me, but still like something that could like be digested and respected by the community. Like I really take it like personal to me, and I'm trying to, do it in a way that it's like, it's not done just to like throw it out there that I'm brown, like it's something that's important to me. I want to make sure that like y'all know that this is real stuff that I'm like going to work hard for, and not just like give you like an inch of an Urdu word like Zayn.
Yeah.
He's like, Salaam alaikum, and everyone's like, holy shit.
That's so true.
But he's a great person. I'm not saying that. But like I do recognize that he is also not probably as connected to the culture in his music. But that's okay. Some people aren't. But like I want to make sure like that it's like a little bit closer, Yeah,
like we don't know how cultural somebody might be or how much they want to connect. And just like, you were saying that one person in the studio who really encouraged you and gave you that confidence versus people that were telling you like, wipe that shit off your hands in Chicago. There's a difference between people who really empower you and make you feel belonged. And say like, keep trying, you're doing good, or like you did this one thing, like that's great. Versus just shutting it down and being like, no, canceled, like that's not us, like whitewashed, whatever it is. So it's gonna be so much more of that as we grow up. But
and
we
honestly,
never know.
Honestly, there are a lot of like South Asian American artists who like are connected to their culture in their music, but aren't necessarily connected to the people and the community. You know what I mean? Like I see that sometimes people use it as like a niche and like make it some sort of aesthetic, which is fine. Like that's a display, like displaying your culture is like a form of expression, and that's cool. But like it's also like at a certain point, like I hope to see these people also support the community and like uplift the artists and the creators who are also like, South Asian American. That's just how I feel though. But yeah.
Have you seen what's been going on TikTok? I'm sure you're scrolling on there being like, yo, I need one of these viral hits.
I love TikTok. I hit 18.3K on there like recently.
Nice.
Great platform for South Asian creators as well.
But particularly for artists and singers like yourself to innovate and try things out and just, have people discover you, get your music out there.
Hell yeah. I owe so much of my EP's success to TikTok. Like, when I put out my first single, Lavender, I promoted it on my TikTok and I was like, yo, everybody like this video. I just put down a single, like I'm trying to buy my mom and dad a home. So like y'all better.
Oh, you did one of those with the music in the back that's like dun dun dun.
Yeah,
dun,
yeah.
dun.
Emotionally blackmail the audience a little bit.
Nice.
I'm 20-year-old brown artist. I just want to make it.
No, quite literally. No, I didn't.
It was picking on me in Chicago, Houston.
No. I genuinely, I don't use it as like a sob story, but I use it as something to relate to. It's like, I'm South Asian American, like we can do this. Like, like, let's go.
Did you know like internet culture and how to use it to your advantage?
Of course,
and stuff
I'm
like that?
20 years old. Like, I grew up through this shit.
Yeah. Because I know like a lot of artists, they like just make music and like they don't know how to use social media or whatnot. But it seems like you're very, like, especially through your Instagram and stuff, you seem like you know how to use the internet really well.
Yeah, I think I might know pretty well because I am a younger artist, and
were you a Tumblr girl?
The internet, no, but like
she doesn't
my
know what
older
Tumblr
sister,
is.
No, my older sister was a Tumblr girl, so all of her like
I was getting Tumblr girl
phase
vibes.
with Tumblr, it bled into me a little bit low key. Like she put me on House of Balloons by The Weeknd when he like first dropped. Like in 2000, I was listening to The Weeknd since I was 11 because of her.
Wow.
I should have not been listening to The Weeknd at 11 years old. Let me tell you that. He says some naughty things in his music.
It's okay. We were listening to Candy
Yeah.
Shop like when we first moved to this country. So
True.
So, yeah.
Yeah, y'all like that's nothing.
yeah. Well, I was gonna ask, like,
Yeah,
when it comes to
but-
TikTok and just all of your social media and all of that, like, do you think about how you want to market yourself and get your stuff out there and like really try to pull off techniques that's not just like music stuff? It's like you got to actually sit down and plan how to promote and all that kind of stuff.
Definitely. When I was first debuting as an artist, Haseeb, who's my producer for the Mercy Project, he
Shout
was
out
like, "You
Haseeb,
need to
he's
get
been
your
on the
social media."
podcast.
Yeah, he's been on the
Shout
podcast.
out.
I know
Shout
he's
out.
the one who recommended like to really go on here as well. So shout out HASEEBthefew. He was like, "You need to get your social media game up," and I was like, ah! I don't care that much about social media. He's like, "Social media is your friend. You were literally born in that generation. Like, do what you need to do." And I'm like, "You're right." So I just kind of used it to my advantage in the sense where I was like, I'm going to post, like, pictures of me in my cool little outfits and see how that does. Maybe I'll post some things, like, about my culture, see how that does. And, like, the best engagement I got was usually when I, like, was telling stories in my captions about, like, how I grew up and, like, why I got into music in the first place and how I'm going to continue doing this. So, yeah, I mean, I definitely think it's all a marketing strategy, but it was all very authentic, like just me being myself and putting shit out that I know people would give a fuck about because it's me.
Do you recommend that for like most artists coming up?
Yeah, dude, like I think everybody should be on social media, and it's hard for you to like, be that artist who's stuck in the closet, like dark, tortured soul these days. Like you really have to like be on social media and express yourself and put yourself out there, because it's like you can be that like little tortured artist who like doesn't put themselves out there like that, but it needs to be done on social media. Like be that tortured soul on social media, like, you know what I mean? Like just put yourself out. Like this world is so globally connected now because of social media. It's almost like if you're not doing it, I'm confused.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
Before you came on this podcast and before I even heard your music, actually, Haseeb reached out personally and recommended you. And he's somebody that I've been following for some time. Really respect his grind, his hustle, his
music.
artistry, and his opinion. So when he said, could you please have this person on the podcast? It was like, oh, this must be somebody special. And it turned out, yes, of course, it's super quality as expected. But I wanted to ask you, along the way, what did Haseeb mean to you? How did you guys meet, and how hands-on was he during this debut project?
Yo, that's so much love. I actually have so much respect and love for Haseeb because he like put faith in me as an artist before anybody else really. Like as a project, like a whole project, He actually posted a video on Twitter once, and it was like a mask-off challenge, I believe. He was rapping on top of a beat, and I was like, damn, this dude got bars. So I was like...
Oh, so you found him, like, organically online?
Yeah, I literally found him on Twitter because someone, like, retweeted him or something. And I just DM'd him, and I was like, yo, like... This is when I literally only had, like, 3 songs on my SoundCloud, and it was, like, shitty mix and, like... horrible. I literally made it in my closet. So it was like songs from when I was like 14. The most recent song I had put out though was Rain Talk, and this was like when I was still in high school, and I was like literally writing on my whiteboards in high school, soundcloud.com/REHMA music, like please everyone go listen to my single. I was forcing everyone.
That's the best. That's the best time.
I love that.
I was about to make my senior quote that like my SoundCloud link. But
Oh, that's funny.
That would have been
That
fire.
was really funny.
I know it would have been fire, but I missed the deadline.
Oh,
Typical, right?
Sounds similar to what
EST.
happened.
The deadline was EST.
So I had Rain Talk out, and I like DM'd it to Haseeb, and I was like, can you listen to this? Would you be down to collaborate with me? Collaborate? Me trying to get that plug, you know how it is. Like, I'm on the grind too, okay? Like, and so I messaged him, and I'm like, would you want to like ever make music? And he was like, yeah, you're good. Come to Paramount and like scratch a verse for me, or like listen to some songs, and we can make something. And I was like, okay. So I think he likes Rain Talk, but I know he thinks that it's poorly mixed as fuck. So I go to Paramount and I pull up with my mom and my dad. Because my parents are like, you're not going to some random person's studio by yourself. We're going to be there and we're going to sit through the whole session.
Shout out, Mom and
Respect. I
Dad.
love that. I love that.
Right? Like snaps to them. And at the time I was like, Mama, Papa, like I can do this. Bitch, you're 17. Like sit down, you know? So they came to the studio with me, and Haseeb had hella respect because, like, you know, they came through and sat down, and he was like, my parents were not there when I was 17. You need, like, those are keepers. And I'm like, obviously. Please just make a song with me. Like,
Yeah.
and then I remember, have you guys heard Play Love off of his album?
Play log.
Play Love, sorry.
Play love.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Are you featured on it?
Yeah, it's the last song on his Growth album.
Okay.
Well, then yeah, I have.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was literally 17, and he like invited me like that time, and I literally put down that verse like right there, like, and I was just like, "Hey guys, I'm gonna do this." And I remember his engineer Corey was super patient and super like kind during the process as well, so it was like super easy to work with him. Honestly, beautiful chemistry in the studio. Us three were like kicking it, like we really just vibing, talking. It was super cool. So Haseeb reached out to me later and was like, yo, like, do you want to make like a small project? Like, I would like to debut you as like an artist. And I was like, fuck yeah. So we made a project.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's
now I'm here.
That's a
Yeah,
huge...
that's very rare for that to happen, and like, you know, for somebody who actually is good at doing it, that's some like Billie Eilish and Phineas shit right there.
Yeah,
So-
for sure.
For real, yeah, Haseeb's dope as fuck. Like, I'm really grateful I met him. He'll always be an older brother figure to me and, like, a mentor and someone who will continue I'll make music with for, like, ever. If he wants to. If he wants to make music for me forever. I know at some point he's gonna be like, hey, I have a family. Like, leave me alone. But, like, I'm gonna keep bugging him. He actually just texted me. He's like, I think your speaker arrived. I was like, yeah.
That's so funny. I feel like the chemistry is probably great too, because you're very like bubbly little sister, and he's like probably like, yo, like
No,
this
quite
got to be
literally.
right. That's
No,
cool.
quite literally. We were on our show for the first... Oh, yeah, he took me on, like, tour after we recorded a few songs. He was going on tour with, like, a few rappers, like Science, Code of the Friend, like, all these cool-ass rappers. And then he's like, do you want to come? And I'm like, me? Me? Little old me? And I'm like, sure, yeah, I'll come. Like, what am I supposed to sing? He's like, the songs we've recorded. And I'm like... Okay. So I pull up and I'm literally this little brown girl like sitting with all these rappers like and I'm like, hey guys, I'm here to sing a song off my upcoming EP.
Does he ever
awesome.
put you in your place?
Yes, all the time. He, like I'm telling you, he like plays like that older brother role. Definitely, he's like, REHMA, post more. Like you need to like put your music out. Like stop doing, you know, like put me in the place where it's like for the benefit of me always. Never like bossing me around. Like fuck that. I would never let that happen to me either. But he's like a really kind person. He would, if it ever was putting me in place, it's like more of like a criticism to like help build the platform. Definitely.
Well, that's the thing about people that, you know, are of some serious substance, is that whenever they give that sort of criticism, it's always coming from a place of like, I know what you're capable of, and I want
love.
And like, you know, their opinion, their quality has a certain standard, and so like if you can, you know, get to that, it's like you'll succeed. So it's awesome that he has that kind of love and respect for you, being so much younger too. Let's talk about the album. We've been you know, hinting towards it the whole time, but your debut album is called Mercy. Talk about what the inspiration behind the name was.
So it's not an album, but it is a short album. I think they call it an EP. So the Mercy EP was named the Mercy EP because my name is REHMA, and
Ding ding ding.
Hey, hey, shocker. And it directly translates to like God's mercy, or like universe's mercy, or just mercy, forgiveness, compassion. empathy, whatever you were to call it. I think a lot of that exists in the way I grew up and who I am. It translated well into my music, the kind of lyrics I wrote. It's all about, like, you know, just have a little empathy for yourself, have a little empathy for your growth, your identity, the love patterns you go through, everything in life. Like, just be kind to yourself and forgive yourself and be okay with, like, the fact that you will never be perfect, and that's okay, you know? So the Mercy EP was just like a powerful narrative about, like, just being Rehma and being the most authentic version of myself. And I think it shows in the music. Like, you hear what I'm talking about. It's like, this is just like the everyday shit I be going through. Like, Lavender is literally about just hating life, like the rising grind attitude that everyone has. Like, I hate that shit. Never want to go through that ever again.
In the Lavender music video, it's really cool because you're at college and it's like everybody is doing their thing around you and you're like almost in this time bubble where you're like, pause, let me commentate on what's happening. Is that what the college experience was like for you, where you're like, yo, this is like, I'm in a different zone or something? Like, what was it?
Space.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm still in college, so it's like that always. Like, I really value education and I really care about it. It'll always be something that's important to me because I know that that's like one of the things that my parents really wanted when they immigrated here, for me to graduate from a really great university. So for me, it's always been like, knowledge is power. Knowledge allows me to write better songs. Like, if anything, this is going to help me in the future. So
what are you majoring in?
I major in sociology and I minor in music. Super
Awesome.
cool. Yeah. So when I was in school, like, I was at community before I had transferred to like a really good school. And that's when I was like shattered. I was like, oh, this shit really kills you. Because like community isn't as liberating as it would be to be on like a 4-year campus. You know what I mean? And like be like doing big things with whatever university you're at. But then when I wrote Lavender, I was thinking about what would happen if I did go to like a 4-year university right out of like high school, you know? It would be like, okay, join like the party culture and like do stupid shit and like waste your energy on like people who don't care about you, maybe. Like, I don't know. It just didn't feel authentic. Like, it didn't feel like something that would fit my life at the moment. So I wrote Lavender because I was like, you know what? Fuck the normal thing that everybody's supposed to do, like go to a 4-year and like live their life. Well,
it starts off, you the first 3 lines, got pages of shit I'm trying to do in life, but I'm stuck in this fast-paced grind. 9 to 5 got me messed up by the night.
Exactly, because that whole like I need to do 9 to 5 job one day to sustain myself really scared me. I was like, I'm not about to do a 9 to 5. You will not get. I will be on the streets before I do a 9 to 5 job. Like, that's how much I wanted to put towards my music. You know what I mean? Like, I'll do this first. So that's what it was for me.
Is that like I know I have felt that way for a while, but is that, do you think, a lot of the mentality with your generation too, where it's like, just, I don't want to work for anybody and, you know, freedom and all that? Do you think that that's like a Gen Z thing or no?
It could be. It definitely could be. Like, and I'm glad that it is a generational thing because we should be breaking that. Like, people don't need to assert their value on like productivity and going to a 9 to 5. Like, people should be able to make good, livable money, like, just by doing what they want, like creating art. And that's still a form of work, you know? Like, people should be able to like, for example, like this whole Spotify thing that's going on. There are literally protests happening on the streets for people to earn a penny for a stream. Like, people should be getting a livable wage for their art and the things they want to do without being in corporate America. But this is the reality. Like, we have to perpetuate such a gross culture like that, like, only like working in this kind of environment will give you like a sustainable life, you know? So I hope it's a generational thing, like, should be.
I like that you said that it scared me rather than feeling like you're too good for it, because I feel like a lot of times when people are against the 9 to 5 idea of work, they're like, oh, I can't do that because I'm not about that. And I think that it's important that you say scare, because that's a more relatable feeling, I feel like, especially to your generation. It's like the idea of working in that format brings me a certain level of anxiety, and that's the reason why I don't want to do it, because there's other opportunities for me out there rather than I'm too good for that life. And I feel like that's
Exactly.
the main narrative for that.
For real. And it's like, you're not better than anyone by not doing a 9 to 5. And you're not better than anyone by doing a 9 to 5. You're just gonna do great in life if you do what you want to do. You know, like, just do what you want. Like, don't judge other people and, like, think that you're, like, above them. Exactly.
Yeah.
For sure.
Of course, you had the song City with Haseeb on it, which was great. I love that one. But the one I wanted to really highlight was Hit List. I think that without a question, when that song came, like, I think, Shamir, like, we were listening to it.
Ross and I were, like, repeating it, like, sending it to each other. We're like, yo, it feels like Ariana Grande, like, dropped. I don't know if that's a fair comparison to say. But we're like, yo, this could be an Ariana Grande song.
No, it feels like it's rightly titled Hit List. It's a hit. Like, it sounds like it could be on the radio and people would be bumping this thing. Like, when you made this song, did you know that, like, did you feel something special about it at all?
Actually, Haseeb felt something special about it.
See?
See?
He knows.
This guy.
No, but, like, the thing is, I love all the music I make, but, like, sometimes I favor more songs over the others, you know? And, like, when I was making Hit List, I was also making, like, 2 other pop tracks, and there was this one song that I fucking loved that I really wanted to put out. But apparently the beat that I used had already been sold to someone, or, like, because it wasn't made by Haseeb. That Hit List beat was not by Haseeb. Okay. It was by, like, some pop producers from OH1 Music. And they were like, yo, we're so sorry. Like, we actually already used this beat. Like, you can't use it. And I was like, fuck. And
the Hit List beat?
Yeah, no, not the Hit List beat.
Oh, something else.
Just another song that I was recording at the time of Hit List.
That
and then we
more.
recorded Hit List, and then Haseeb was like, shut up. Like, that's the one. Like, this is a banger. Like, this is the one you can dance to. And I'm like, you're right. Okay. Like,
yeah.
Sometimes
it's just
an
that
already
thing.
like famous song that you kind of just like keep listening to. Like, you already have it in your music library, but it's like a bomb ass song.
It's catchy. It's definitely a catchy tune.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is, because it's like, yeah, we all have our different, especially when we're the ones making the song, where we gravitate towards the one that feels the closest to us or something special about it. And that's what the case was here, where I was like, you know, I really liked, you know, Lavender was dope, and then City, it just has this awesome vibe, and that was like my favorite one. But then when I heard Hit List, I was like, oh, like, it's a rap. You know what I mean? Well, you don't. Haseeb does, so.
No, I do know what you mean, because I made the song, you know?
Yeah, okay.
She said what she said.
Yeah, so I do really love the song. I think it's about a really cool thing, too. It's literally about, like, being like, yo, I know you may see, like, me, like, as a body and, like, someone you can just sleep with, but I'm, like, more than that. Like, I'm that happy ever after kind of girl, you know? Like, I want, like, sustainable relationships. Like, I want people who give and take equally, like, a good, wholesome thing going on here.
She's strong. She independent. She a Leo rising.
Exactly. Oh, he's hopping on the train.
I'm not hopping on a single train.
Okay, but speaking of sound, I don't know, I listen to a lot of, like, Janae, and then, you know, when the SZA Love album, I can't remember what that album was called, whatever. Control. Like Kalani, like those types of things. I don't know what it is when I hear you. I just like feel those vibes that I feel when I listen to them.
Yeah.
Do you are they your inspirations / who are your inspirations?
Yes. I think that all those women are my inspirations. They're so talented. I was listening to a lot of SZA, Kehlani, Ariana, Janae around that time. Like, because I was like 17 when I first started recording the Mercy Project. Like, Dreaming is the first song I ever recorded with Haseeb and Corey. And I remember just putting down whatever came to me, like just singing. And I think the most genuine thing that came out at that time was like my inspiration surrounding me, like those ladies. And I think a lot of like the older like ballad queens like Celine, Mariah, like they inspire me. Aretha, Etta, Dinah Washington, all the old jazz singers, like everything that I grew up listening on translated really well vocally onto that project. So I think that it definitely does give that vibe of like the old school R&B feel, you know, like
That's
like
it.
That classic feel of that. Yeah, I feel
It gives
that.
you a warm feeling in your soul.
Yes. Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you.
Okay, Miss Rehma, I want to ask you a question. What do you think is more important, giving mercy or getting mercy?
Giving mercy.
I didn't get it.
Giving mercy.
Giving mercy. Talk about it.
Because the more, I think when I say giving mercy, it's like give it to yourself as well. Like number one, give it to yourself. Second, give it to everybody else. Translate it into the world. Because the more you give out good things, the more good things will come back to you, you know? And I think if I go around asking for mercy all the time, then like I would feel like I'm not being myself. Then, you know, I'd have to be like really watering myself down around people if I need to ask for mercy all the time and like feel like I'm not, I don't know what I'm saying, but like you know what I'm saying, you know?
How do you deal with people who have wronged you? What do you make of it after years?
The
Mostly-
lyrics. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, check the lyrics. I'm just kidding. You can refer back to the Mercy EP for that question. I'm just kidding.
Ask my agent.
Most of the time, I forgive and forget because it's easier to do that. I honestly do not have the emotional capacity to sit around and dwell on the shit that people have done to me because I got places to be, y'all. Y'all know this. Like, it's just too much effort to, like, hate people and, like, have so much, like, pain.
Animosity.
I'd rather just forgive. Yeah, I'll forgive and
sure.
forget. You know, like,
Word.
Yeah. Well, so I saw on your IG story once, I couldn't really find it much outside of that, but you did mention that you're a part of the LGBT community. And if you're comfortable with answering, like, in what way do you identify, and is it, like, challenging with your brown identity?
yeah, I mean, I think a big reason why I wasn't able to, like, really ever come out was because I'm brown, you know, and, like, it's a little bit harder to come out in a community that's, like, Pakistani especially. But I realized one day that it's okay. Like, love is love, you know, and I'm very open to whoever is a good person and, like, cares about me and is authentic. I'm not about, like, the traditional marriage form either. Like, I'm very just open. I don't really label it. That's one thing. I try not to, at least. But what people I used to say
Oh,
is,
you're
like,
the plus.
yes, I'm the plus.
I didn't know
Correct.
there was
So
plus.
would I be wrong in saying pansexual?
Yeah, I mean, usually the word would be pansexual. Yeah. Because, like, I remember, like, when I first was, like, opening myself up to it and, like, being like, yo, this is a part of you, just, like, let it shine. I was like, oh, I'm bisexual. I was like, no, because, like, that's seems kind of limiting, too. Like, what if someone doesn't identify with girl or boy? I'd be open to that, too. It's like, it doesn't matter. All people, human beings. If you're a good person, I fuck with you, you know?
And did you kind of have that as an internal struggle growing up, or was that, like, something that you always knew and kind of, like, you know, were kind of open with?
It was definitely
Personally?
it was definitely an internal thing. It was more of those things that, like, yeah, you feel it, but suppress it. Like, whatever you can do, just suppress it. Like, if you like a girl, suppress it. Like, if you have had history with a girl, suppress it. Don't talk about it. And then when it came to the times where it was like, just be yourself, it was like, okay, it's getting easier. And then I just didn't feel the need to ever come out because I felt like that was too much pressure. It's like,
Yeah.
no one needs to know if I don't want to tell them. I'll just, you know, like, mind my business and love who I love, and I won't bother anyone, and that will be enough for me. So
So you never felt the need to not only come out on the internet, but in real life either?
I came out in real life. I came out to my friends, like, in college, I believe. I was just like, yeah, I fuck with whoever, and they're like, hey, good for you, girl. Like,
And did
then
that ever make it back to your family?
yes, I did tell my parents, and they're like, yeah, love is love. Do whatever you want. No, I'm telling you, like, my parents, like, grew up with me. Like, they liberated with me, like, growing up. Like, I owe it a lot to my older sister, honestly, because she's the first child. But they were just like, my dad was like, hey, you get the best of both worlds.
Wow. That's really cool that your parents said that.
It was hard. It was hard to bring it up. It was like, like I was like shaking in my boots. but it was cool.
Well, I'm sure it's easier once you did the Houston, you did the Shy, and then it was meant to be in California. You're like, this is where I can do this thing, and that's why your friends and your parents were like looking around, and they're probably like, okay, yeah, like
Yeah.
it might have been a little
California's
harder. You were in Virginia or something.
Yeah.
That's so true. Yeah, I owe it to California. California is a very liberated state. It's like very much different from a lot of the other states in America,
They're
unfortunately.
more worried about you being a good person, I'm sure.
Yeah. No, they really are. Like, at the end of the day, all they care about is, like, I know you're a good person, Rehma. You wish the best for people. Just be who you want to be. And I'm like, okay.
That's dope. Rehma, where can people find you, and what do you have coming up that people can look forward to?
Where can people find me? Like, online?
Yeah, I don't want your address.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe you meant, like, where's your favorite books? Like, shop or
I know you're like really open and all that, but
Remo, what? Why would you
not
think
that
that was the
expert.
question? Like, what bookstore can you find me at? That's what you thought he was going with?
No.
I
What
like
is
that.
the answer though?
I like that. Yeah, what is
Yeah.
it?
Like, what my bookstore is? I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't even read books. That was a lie. You'll probably
Boba
find
shop.
me.
Yeah,
What are you-
I caught
what are you
that
into?
earlier
What are
when
you
you
into?
said that
Like-
you were reading it. I know that was a TikTok because I watched that same TikTok. about the
That's
closing
a
business.
yeah, but I'm also a sociology major and I read about like articles all the time. So I actually did read about cultural dissonance, but it is a TikTok as well. Because you know that weird shit when like you read something and it pops up like on your For You
Yeah.
page the next day. I'm like, damn, my data scientist really got something going on. Like,
It's the horoscopes. My God.
It's the horoscopes.
no, it is not.
Yeah, we're online to follow you, to keep up with you, and what can they look forward to?
Okay, find
Plug
me.
it up. Plug
Find
in.
me-
Plug in. What's it called?
Plug and play.
Plug and play right now. Let's go.
Let's go.
At Mango Rahma, all platforms, social medias, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all those good guys. They're gonna be at Mango Rahma, and you can find my YouTube, just Rahma. Yeah, Spotify Rahma, Apple Music Rahma.
Listen to her stuff, people. It's
Yeah,
gonna
listen.
blow your
You'll
mind.
have a good time. Yeah.
So
You
good.
really will. I feel like based off of at Mango Rehma, we might be hinting towards the answer to the next question, but let's see. Rehma, you are on Strange Flavors, and we ask our guests a very important question at the end of every episode, and Shamir is going to take that away for you.
You could describe yourself in any flavor. What would it be and why?
Mango.
Listen. Did you hear the last part of his question? This better be good.
And why?
Why? Because I like them.
Don't do that to us.
Come on.
Don't do
You have
that.
these deep lyrics.
Nope,
We
there
want
has to be
something
something
deep.
deeper, sis.
Dude,
Like,
there's
why-
not.
Rehma, come on. Like, why? You know, it could be anything. Like, you know,
Dude,
there's-
can
Make
we
something
just
up.
Juicy? I don't know.
we just fuck with mangoes out here, dude? Like literally, if I had a deeper, like poetic diaspora answer for you, I'd give it. But I don't. Like I just like mangoes.
You're Gen Z. You guys have like so many ways to identify, and all you're gonna say is, "I fuck with mangoes, yo."
Yeah, like, come on.
You're
Is
letting your
nothing about the
generation
mango like you identify with?
They're like sweet, but like rich, elegant.
You just say words, yo.
She was like,
Alright,
no,
that's
she's
fine.
just describing the
No,
mango
but
and hope
no,
it's
no.
her
I'm
as well.
I'm being dead honest with y'all. Like I'm being 100%. I'm being 100%. I think mangoes are just like
Why'd you get so
This-
serious?
I'm talking about mangoes. This is a serious topic, bro. I think that they're just super sweet and like they remind me of home. And I think like I'm a very like comforting person.
There
And
you
I'm like
go.
I'm rich with emotion and love and sweetness and
There you go.
elegance.
Wow, wow,
And
wow.
I'm willing to give it to all y'all through my mango strange flavor. Here you go.
Yeah, about that.
Wow.
There
Beautiful.
we
but-
go.
Yeah.
That's what we were
That's what we're
looking
aiming
for.
for.
That's what we
Yeah, for
needed.
sure.
See, she had it in her.
I didn't, but I really pulled that out of my ass for you.
I can,
Everyone
I
does,
can,
though.
I can get
Yeah.
a hint of what Haseeb probably puts up with just do that little thing right there.
Okay,
But-
that motherfucker's like beats, rhymes, Nahari. I'm like, what does Nahari mean to you? He's like, my fans just connect with it. And I'm like, exactly.
Yo, don't expose him out. This is not for that. The man's got something going.
It's cool. It's like, yeah, sometimes people just fuck with mangoes. Sometimes people just fuck with Nahari, you know? You just like it.
And sometimes people just F with Rehma.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
and after this conversation, so do we, and hopefully so will you. Listen, Rehma, this was super fun. You are, like, we have mentioned before, extremely talented, and you have so much, to look forward to. You're so young still, and like we can't wait to see all the things that you make, and just wish you the best in life.
Would it be too strong to say that I have so much love for y'all after this podcast? Because you guys are super sweet and like,
Yeah, that's
you
too
guys. No, shut up. It's not.
Not to me.
Yeah, me and Amber gotta go in. Like, me and her are about to be friends after this. But facts. I'm really grateful to be on here. Thank you for having me, and always love for y'all. So like, let me know if you ever need me again. I'm here, and I won't mess up the EST.
Never again. No, this was. I'm so glad we got to do this. It was well worth it and worth the wait. It took. You know what? It took the right time for that mango to ripen. Because if you ever eat a kacha mango, it ain't it. You let that thing cook. She been cooking.
Yeah, I was simmering. Like just had to be the right moment.
Yes.
Thank you, Rehma. Thank you, everybody, for listening to another episode of Strange Flavors. It's been another week.
Another flavor.
A little less stranger.
We'll talk to you next time.
I'm up on a sunrise, get a cool way. There ain't no light outside, but I'm up. That's enough. You tryna kick it, I got a shift to 5. These